I'm pushing this shit in the fast lane. I do what I want, I'm insane. I think I might knock that boy head off. We both got a strap, it's a standoff. Them bullets gon' fly, it's a dance off. These niggas gon' ask for a handout. Young 2 times we all in the bank, bitch. Pull out that sketch, it's a lane switch.
When you open Content Manager for the first
Talking that
time,
shit, we gon' slide now. Flashing at 30, we looking for you. I think we done made that boy high now. I'm sipping on drink and I do what you can. Young 2 times I'm with up the rank now. They think I forgot and I'm getting it back. I'm already posted outside. I'm catching a flight and I'm back in LA. These niggas know where I reside. 2 racks on my left wrist, 3 racks on my right wrist. Niggas be trying to keep up with the game, but I swear they ain't living just like this. I really just cashed out on a mirror, little boy. I hope you don't try this. Why these niggas keep stealing my flow, little boy? You know you can't bite this. And please, draw one pick and you gone. They already tap your phone. I told her, bitch, leave me alone. Walk in the spot and I got it, bitch, jumping, got it and turned to my song. Do what I want when I want to. Young 2 times, don't care if you're wrong. Count up this shit just to thumb it in. Doing that shit just to run it back. I'm walking around wreck so I can't lag. I don't even know why he did that. You know that the drink got some kickback. Me and my bitch on the same thing. We doing them drugs and you can't hang. I'm pushing this shit in the fast lane. I do what I want, I'm insane. I think I might knock that boy head off. We both got a strap, it's a standoff. Them bullets gon' fly, it's a dance off. These niggas gon' ask for a handout. Young 2 times we all in the bank, bitch. Pull out that sketch, it's a lane switch.
Hey everyone, welcome to this full beginner's guide for installing mods on Assetto Corsa. We're going to cover the main prerequisites to get started. These are Content Manager, Custom Shaders Patch, and Soul Weather, and then we'll dive into installing the fun mods like Cars and Tracks, using the Shitoko Revival Project mod as an example. So I'm starting here with a fresh Windows install and a fresh unmodified Steam install of Assetto Corsa, just to make sure we're all starting from the beginning and on the same page. The first thing we're going to do is install a program called Content Manager. This is an alternative game launcher for Assetto. That allows you complete control over hundreds of game settings, mod management, replays and screenshots, just playing the game, and much, much more. It might feel a bit overwhelming at first, but I'll guide you through the basics, and over time, you can start to tweak every little setting to your heart's content. Go ahead and download the app from their website. There is a paid version that I strongly recommend getting at least eventually, but for this tutorial, we'll use the free version. Again, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Save the file and then open it and drag the Content Manager executable to your desktop, or wherever you want to launch the program from. When you open Content Manager for the first time, it'll ask you to verify Assetto Corsa's install directory. This will be in a different location for everyone, but usually Content Manager can find it on its own and you won't need to change this. You can also select a name to use here and install plugins. You don't necessarily need any of these, but I would recommend getting the 7-zip plugin here. So once this is done, hit OK, and you'll be in Content Manager. Probably the best upgrade you can make to your Assetto Corsa experience. This screen here is where you can launch a race. Select your car and track in the top left, adjust the time of day, weather, etc. You can also access the career from the tab in the top left. Once you've got your race settings where you want, you can hit go in the bottom right corner to start a race. It's generally worth your time here to get comfortable with the general user interface of Content Manager here, because it is how you'll be playing and managing the game from here on out. Once you're ready for the next step, hit settings on the top right, and then custom shaders patch on the top left. You'll be greeted with this screen and a green install button, and it's just about that easy. Custom Shaders patch is now installed, and you have a wealth of new performance and graphics options to explore on the left side of the screen there. But we're not quite done yet. You'll notice on the right here that we have a lot of different available versions to select from. By default, it will always install the newest recommended version. However, many mods require you to be using newer versions of the patch. For example, Soul, which we're installing next, needs to make sure you're on at least 0.1.69. If you're running into strange graphical issues, chances are you need to update your CSP. Today, we're going to be running 0.1.74. Keep in mind that you can also donate to the creator's Patreon and get access to new cool features that aren't public yet, like dynamic rain. Now let's move on to our next step, installing Soul. This mod can be found on the race department website, which, by the way, is an amazing resource for finding all sorts of good track and car mods for Assetto Corsa. You might notice here that you don't have a download button available to you. That's because you need to make an account with the race department website. make an account, log in, and then the download button will show up. Go ahead and click the link to save that file, and then open it up, and you'll see what we have here. Click the race department website. Make an account, log in, and then the download button will show up. Go ahead and click the link to save that file, and then open it up, and you'll see what we have here. Click on the mods folder, and you'll see that there is a detailed install guide here if you need it. Then click on the Sol 2.1.2 folder, and you'll see we have 4 folders and 2 files here. What we're going to do is copy these 4 folders into your Assetto Corsa.
Introducing Flex Power Tools. More power.
Into your Assetto Corsa root. The Sol 2.1.2 folder, and you'll see we have 4 folders on the top left. You'll be greeted with this screen. This mod can be found on the Race Department website, which, by the way, is an amazing resource for finding all sorts of good track and car mods for Assetto Corsa. You might notice here that you don't have a download button available to you. That's because you need to make an account with the Race Department website. Make an account, log in, and then the download button will show. Then click on the Soul 2.1. And you'll see that there is a detailed install guide here if you need it. Then click on the Soul 2.1.2 folder, and you'll see we have 4 folders and 2 files here. What we're going to do is copy these 4 folders into your Assetto Corsa root install directory. Now, most of you will probably know where you've installed Assetto Corsa to, but if you don't and you installed the game through Steam, here's a pretty foolproof way to get to it. Go ahead and right-click the game in your Steam library, then scroll down to Manage, and then browse local file. Right-click the game, install the game through Steam. Here's a pretty foolproof way to Assetto Corsa to, but if you don't and you installed the game through Steam, here's a pretty foolproof way to get to it. Go ahead and right-click the game in your Steam library, then scroll down to Manage, and then browse local files. Alright, so we've got the Assetto Corsa root folder on the left and the mod folder on the right. What we're going to do is just take these 4 folders that you'll notice line up with 4 of the folders in the install directory and copy them right over. Once that's done, Sol is installed. We can verify that by going to them right that you'll notice line up with 4 of the folders in the install directory and copy them right over. Once that's done, Sol is installed. We can verify that by going to the weather effects in custom shaders patch settings of Content Manager. And we'll see here that the controller and weather script shows Sol. Now we're actually going to want to change that controller script to Sol 2.1. Once that's done, head over to the Assetto Corsa video settings and make sure that your rendering frequency for reflections is no higher than 2 faces per frame. It can be static or 1 or 2, just no higher. This is a limit set by Sol. While we're here, we can also take a look at the post-processing filter, usually shortened online to be called the PP filter.
Don't be nasty.
The Sol mod should already give you a few to pick from, but you can find more filters online. The final thing we're going to do here is go over to the Assetto Corsa apps settings and enable all of these Sol apps. This is going to to let you mess with weather settings while you're in game. Now we have Content Manager, Custom Shaders Patch, and Soul all installed, and you're just about ready to start installing the fun mods. Now would be a great time though to boot up a race and make sure everything is running and looking as good as it should. You can see here we're doing a race at night, which actually wasn't even possible in the vanilla game, and on the right side of the screen where you access your apps, here's where we can mess with Soul settings. If you have some performance issues, you can switch to the low preset, or if you want to bump up the certain range, you now have a much better start adding the fun mods. We're going to be using the Shitoko Revival Project's Discord to get our track map, as well as a big pack of modded cars that they actually require for use in their official servers. If you're going to be installing this mod specifically, keep an eye out for the channels with hearts around them, specifically track downloads and car downloads. Then just use